Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a mirror, not the kind that merely reflects your face, but one that reveals the very nature of your soul. In the Quran, Allah speaks to not just our intellect, but to the innermost sanctuary of the heart. Each verse is not just guidance, but a secret door to higher awareness. Now we descend into verses 14 to 16 of Surah Al-Baqarah. These are not just about the people of the past, they are also about us. They are a mirror to our own contradictions, our own veils. And with Sufi insight, we shall unveil the mystery. Let us step into the divine ocean of meanings. Verse 14. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ. And when they meet those who believe, they say, "We believe." But when they are alone with their evil ones, they say, "Indeed, we are with you. We were only mocking." This verse is not merely about hypocrisy in its political or social form. The Sufis interpret this as the inner duality that every soul wrestles with. The they here is not only external, it is internal. It is that fragmented self within us that puts on a face of purity when in the company of the righteous, but reverts to its lower self, the nafs al-amara, when in the company of darkness. In Sufi psychology, there are levels of the soul: the commanding self, the blaming self, the inspired self, and the tranquil self. Here we witness the dance between the commanding self and the deluded intellect. When we meet the part of ourselves that longs for the divine, our inner mu'min, we say we believe. But in isolation, when we return to our addictions, our arrogance, our heedlessness, we whisper to the nafs, "We are still with you. Don't worry, that was just a performance." Mockery is not only with the tongue, it is when we treat spiritual practice as performance. When our zikr is empty, when our salat is robotic, when our hearts remain untouched by the name we recite, this is a form of mocking. We mock not only the believers, we mock the beloved. The Sufi masters say, hypocrisy is not always apparent. Sometimes it hides in the folds of sincerity. Examine your own self. Do you believe because it is the truth or because it is convenient? Is your belief alive or is it a mask worn out of fear? Verse 15. Allahu yastahzi'u bihim wa yamudduhum fi tughyanihim yarmahun. Allah mocks them and prolongs them in their transgression while they wander blindly. This is among the most profound spiritual warnings in the entire Quran. On the surface, the word mock may seem jarring, but in Sufi tafsir, it is not Allah mocking in cruelty. It is Allah allowing the illusion to continue until the self is drowned in its own deception. The divine does not mock in the human sense. He allows the veils to remain when we insist on delusion. This is not mockery, it is a mirror. He reflects to us our own choices. If you act with a mask, the universe becomes your stage. But beware, sometimes the performance becomes so convincing, you forget you were pretending. The phrase prolongs them in their transgression is terrifying in its subtlety. It implies that when the soul repeatedly rejects the pull of the divine, the mercy of God gives space, not out of wrath, but as a final mercy. He lets the soul feel the full consequences of its separation. Sufis speak of the dark night of the soul, a period when the seeker feels lost, abandoned. But this verse points to something deeper: the risk of becoming blind while believing you can see. It is the blindness of the heart, where even light feels like darkness. He does not punish with fire alone, he punishes with forgetfulness. And the greatest calamity is not poverty, nor illness, nor enemies. It is when the heart is blind and still believes it sees. In Sufi thought, blindness is not of the eyes, but of the heart. Indeed, it is not the eyes that are blind, but the hearts within the breasts that are blind. 22:46. This verse is an echo of that deeper reality. They wander blindly, not because there is no light, but because they no longer recognize it. Verse 16. أُولَئِكَ الَّذِينَ اشْتَرَوُا الضَّلَالَةَ بِالْهُدَى فَمَا رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ وَمَا كَانُوا مُهْتَدِينَ. Those are the ones who have purchased error in exchange for guidance, so their transaction has brought no profit, nor were they guided. Here the metaphor is economic, but the meaning is existential. They have sold the real for the illusion. In Sufi terminology, this is the soul's greatest loss, to trade the eternal for the temporary, the truth, haq, for the self, nafs. Every moment we are engaged in this trade. Every action, every intention is a transaction. Are you selling your inner awareness for outer applause? Are you buying pleasure at the cost of presence? The Sufis view this verse as a call to awaken. The soul is a merchant, but some trade in gold, while others trade in dust. The real seeker is the one who invests in silence, sincerity, and surrender. Look at the phrase, their transaction has brought no profit. What is the profit in Sufi thought? It is marifa, gnosis, intimate knowing of Allah. The one who loses this loses everything. One can have wealth, fame, even knowledge. But without that intimate nearness, all is loss. This verse is also about the hidden cost of false belief. They thought they were gaining, perhaps popularity or security or social status, but they were losing their essence. Sufi poets like Rumi often speak in the language of trade and currency. He says, "O soul, you are the king's falcon, caught in the snare of the world. Trade the market of illusion for the treasure of certainty." This verse is the divine calling the soul back to its worth. Don't sell your light. Don't trade your essence. Final reflections. The inner battlefield. Verses 14 to 16 are not just warnings, they are maps. They reveal the inner battlefield between sincerity and show, between the real and the pretended, between presence and forgetfulness. The Sufi way is not about condemning the outer world. It is about purifying the inner world. These verses are invitations to notice, to awaken, to return. Ask yourself, when I sit in prayer, who is praying? When I speak of faith, is it my tongue or my heart? When I act righteously, is it for him or for them? These questions are not meant to paralyze you. They are meant to awaken you. In the Sufi path, the heart must be polished like a mirror until it reflects only the face of the beloved. Hypocrisy, blindness, false trade, these are dust on that mirror. Polish your heart with dhikr, with tears, with truth. For every verse of the Quran is a knock on the door of your soul. And these verses, verses 14 to 16, are among the loudest knocks. Will you open? Dear listener, this is not just a commentary, it is a call to sincerity, a call to self-awareness, a call to stand before the mirror of the Quran with courage. If your heart stirred even once while listening to this, know that it is not from the speaker, but from the one who speaks through all hearts. Share this reflection with someone whose soul is also on the path. Let these divine signs be a flame that lights up more hearts. And subscribe to our channel if you yearn for more journeys into the depths of the Quran through the lens of love, unity, and awakening. Until next time, may your heart be clear, your intention pure, and your soul in constant remembrance.